Yo, what's happening, people? It's Zurra here. Today we are going to be reacting to a scene from a movie called We Are Your Friends. Now, this came out about 10 years ago, right? I've not seen it. I've had a few people recommend that I watch it just because I'm a DJ, right? But I think it is quite literally just like... This, like I said, this came out 10 years ago in the middle of the EDM boom, right? So I think this was a chance for Hollywood to capitalise on the popularity of electronic dance music, you know, whatever that means to you. So we're going to look at one scene in particular, which people have been telling me, like, look, you don't need to watch the movie, but at least watch this one scene, because people want to know what I think about it. I've not seen the scene. All I know is that Zac Efron's in it, doing Zac Efron things. So let's jump straight into it and see what happens. Oh, damn, okay.
You could try, but this crowd doesn't dance before midnight.
Oh, okay, so we're already coming across like a bit of a dance floor Karen, right? Now, she gets a bit of a pass because she's smoking hot. But can we also talk about the fact that Mr. Zac Efron is, oh my days, this dude is the bomb. Of course they would cast Zac Efron to play like a hot EDM DJ, right? Like, he definitely looks the part. My God, he is smoking hot. No homo. In fact, fully homo. I'm a homo for Zac Efron. Let's carry on.
Okay. Rocking a party. Step one. So it's the
Here we go.
To get the crowd out of their heads and into their bodies.
I don't disagree with that. At all. But I can't take it seriously so far. So let's see how this develops.
So in order to do that, you need at the very least a caveman sense of rhythm, a cursory knowledge of mathematics, and the broad strokes of ninth grade biology. For example.
I don't buy that. Not for a second. Now, maths, absolutely. You know, when I do DJ workshops in schools and stuff like that, I do say to some of my students, like, DJing, it's a lot of maths. Like, but it's you know, maths in a way that you can understand it just from, like, listening to music, you know. But biology, not so sure. So let's see what the rationale behind that is.
The baseline controls this region of the body right here.
Okay, so he switched the basses out, but somehow it's gone for a low-pass filter. Interesting. I'm not going to rip it, by the way. Like, if I genuinely think that there are parts of this scene that are true to life and accurate, then I'll highlight that. But so far, I'm not buying a lot of what Zac Efron and the director are selling with this film.
The most important region. There's always going to be resistance.
True.
So you got to be patient.
True. That is super true. It doesn't matter what size event you play, what venues, blah, blah, blah. There's always going to be, especially if you're opening, my days, there's always going to be like this little pocket of space which people don't want to infiltrate initially. And it just takes one or two people to infiltrate that space for everyone else to feel kind of safe and feel like they can come in and start having a good time. I don't know why, because like whenever I turn up to an event or something and I hear music that I like, I'm straight down the front and I'm having a boogie. But most people don't think that way. So yeah, let's see where this goes.
For that one person who's not afraid to just go for it.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously going to be this chick, right? Yeah. Oh. That's the most white girl dancing I've ever seen, by the way. But job done. It's doing the job. Oh, Zac Efron's going to jump in the mix now. Here we go. The white girl's interested. Bit of beat matching. Let's talk about that blend. That was whack, bro. But also, it's a film. I understand you ain't going to get, like, technically sound DJing, even though it's a film about DJing. But yeah, that transition was whack. I'm not 100% sure those two songs go together. But hey, let's see what impact that has on the dance floor. Here we go.
Zero in on their heartbeats. I like to start them off at about 120 beats per minute.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
cool.
Equivalent to the heartbeat of a long distance runner.
Well, I don't know about that, but depending on what style of music you're playing, for me, house music, 120 BPM is not a bad place to start if you're opening things up. And in this kind of setting as well, you don't want to go too hard too soon because people will just kind of get sick of it and, you know, maybe jump in the pool and maybe not come back to the top of the water because it's too much for them. But I'm not 100% sure about the science about it being the same speed as a 100-meter sprinter. But hey, let's see what else we can debunk. Oh, I thought it was clanging the mix, but it's the heartbeat as well.
It governs how your body moves. For example, reggae is slow, about 60 BPM.
Not sure that's reggae, by the way. But yeah, we move. And also, That's not how you dance to reggae.
Dubstep is actually 140 BPM cut to half speed. It ends up being about 70 BPM.
Well, 140.
House is around 110 to 130 BPM.
Yeah. It's a lot faster now,
Then
but
there's hardcore. Not sure how you dance to that.
no. Like, I genuinely always wondered how people dance to things like hardcore, gabba, and stuff like that without it looking completely ridiculous. And the truth is, it's impossible. So I'm glad they addressed it.
Once you've locked onto their heart rate, you start bringing them up, song by song.
The whole locking into the heart rate thing, I'm not buying at all. Like, you know, that's not our intention as the DJ. Like, that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to lock into people's heart rates or anything like that. But I know that there is some kind of science between, you know, the pace of house music in particular and some kind of rhythm internally, like as human beings. So maybe there is something to it, but that's not our intention when we get behind the decks. Zac Efron's a stud, man, and I'll be honest, that transition was actually a little bit better. So we're up to 126 BPM now. It's gone up 6 beats per minute. It's quite a jump. I actually quite like the tunes he's playing as well. Even though the first transition was a little bit wacky. White girls absolutely loving it. Here we go.
There's a popular myth that 128 beats per minute is the rate that synergizes most with your heartbeat.
I cannot debunk that, and I can't I can fact check it, I suppose, but I don't really want to. I want to see where this goes. So 128 beats per minute. I've got to be honest, whenever I lock into that tempo, I do feel like that's really when the party starts. So there might be something to that. There might be something to that. Who knows? Here we go. Go on, Zachy boy.
That's the magic number.
Oh, hello.
Once you've gotten your crowd there, you're controlling their entire circulatory system.
Don't know about that. Here we go. Here we go. You know what? You know what's quite interesting as well, right? Like, I know a few people that are in TV, movies, you know, theatre and stuff like that. And whenever there's like nightclub scenes or like scenes where people are supposed to be dancing, a lot of the time on set, they don't have music to respond to. So if you actually look at different people in the crowd, you'll often find that they are dancing at different tempos, different rhythms and stuff like that, because they're just told to dance, right? So they don't have an indication of what the music that they're dancing to is, because they kind of figure that out later once they sort out licensing for certain songs and stuff like that. So it's quite weird. I don't know if they've done that in this scene, because everyone seems to be quite in unison, you know, and I think that that's just to kind of drive in the authenticity that these guys are at a party where Zac Efron? Who the... Anyway, Zac Efron is DJing out. So you might see like some people slightly drifting in terms of their dancing, but so far it actually looks all right. But now you won't be able to unspot that in movies and TV, like especially when there's like a big like nightclub scene. People are dancing to whatever they think is going on in their heads, not what's actually happening on set. Oh, we're in it now. Zac Efron in a vest, by the way, ladies and gents. You know, I'm gonna get off the topic of Zac Efron, mate. Like, but he looks good. He looks good. I can't lie. Oh, hello. He's getting a bit jealous now. That's the dude from... Oh, is that it? I thought there was going to be a little bit more to that. But anyway, let's. There's a few things that we need to address in there, right? So, like, I don't understand the science behind what he's talking about. I don't know if the science is true to life, if there's anything to that or not. But it's a little bit... A lot of what he's saying kind of makes sense if you want to deep it, but also a lot of that is just Hollywood mumbo jumbo, right? There's... I want to go back to the very start, like, because she was being a proper Karen. She was being a proper Karen, like, oh yeah, this party's a little bit dead. And I'm sure as DJs, at some point, you might not be facing it now, but at some point in your career, you would have dealt with someone who's like, oh, no one's dancing. Can you play something we can dance to? This girl was virgin on Karen, but actually ended up becoming basic white chick. So let's see this once again.
So what are you saying? Maybe they amp it up?
You could try, but if this crowd doesn't dance before midnight.
Okay. rocking apart.
What I do respect is she hasn't come through with an outrageous request. She has actually just asked, like, right, when are we going to get the party started? But also, let the DJ cook, man. Let Zac Efron in a wife beater cook with the headphones that I don't know what brand they are. Like, they should be Sennheisers, really. If you were trying to be true to life, they'd be Sennheisers or V-Moders if it was 10 years ago. Maybe even Dre Beats. I'm so surprised, actually, that they're not Dre Beats, because everyone in films and TV around 10 years ago had Dre Beats on, if they had headphones on at all.
Step one. So it's the DJ's job to get the crowd out of their heads and into their bodies.
Yeah, you know what? Like, I'm going to have to watch the film now. I'm going to have to watch the film, because if this scene is anything to go on, they are taking liberties with a lot of things, but also the people behind the film must have had a basic understanding of what a DJ does, right? Because they do get some of it right, or at least they get some of the kind of philosophy behind it right. But actually what we're doing is very different to how Zac Efron is explaining it. Like, we're not trying to lock into people's heartbeats. We're not trying to take over people's circulatory systems. That's just not it at all. We're there to play good music, and if you play good music, people will dance. Simple as that.
Need, at the very least, a caveman sense of rhythm, a cursory knowledge of mathematics, and the broad strokes of ninth grade biology.
This was, this I don't buy. This I don't buy. Broad strokes of ninth grade biology. This was just an excuse to get, like, a cheeky diagram of a bird, a naked bird on there.
For example, the bass line controls this region of the body right here.
And it's funny because everything he's doing is not what's synced up with the audio. Now, I get it. Like, you know, what he's doing on screen, they would have had to do something audio-wise in post-production to fit it, right? So they probably just did the best that they could. But it would have been nicer to see something a little bit more accurate.
The most important region.
Yeah, her response there was everyone's response, I'm sure, in the cinema when this first came out. Like, oh.
Just go for it.
I love how he's just suggesting, right, absolutely tear it up, girl. And the best she can do is the bog standard white girl dance, man. Literally. The bog standard white girl dance. Like, if there was a white girl starter kit at a house party, that's the dance you do, right? You play a little bit with your hair, you look down at the floor all shy, and you're just kind of shaking your hips a little bit. But I like how it progresses. I like how it progresses from like, oh no, too shy, to, right, I'm going to be the person that starts this party. So also, not where you do that mix, by the way. Like, you know, mathematically, like, after him just saying, like, you have to have an understanding of mathematics, mathematically, that transition doesn't make sense at all.
Next, you want to zero in on their heartbeats.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've seen enough, but I actually want to check this movie out now. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, We Are Your Friends. This is, like, a proper throwback. Like, look at the way people are dressed. Listen to the music that he's mixing. To be fair, he's actually mixing some pretty good tunes. But yeah, just look at the main character energy from everyone on the screen.
I like to start them off at about 120 beats per minute. That's equivalent to the heartbeat of a long distance runner.
Again, could not confirm or deny that, but hey, it's probably true. It's probably true. I don't think that they would just pluck things out of midair and, you know, make it up. You know, Hollywood's not like that. Hollywood would never do that. But anyway, I'm not going to play the whole clip. You know how it goes. White girl gets, you know, grafted by someone else instead. And the DJ is sad. Ultimately, that is probably the most accurate part of this clip. DJ starts flirting with a girl. Girl starts dancing. Girl gets grafted by someone else. And there we go. That is probably the most accurate thing about this video. So, guys, We Are Your Friends. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments. And also, if you want to submit more clips for me to react to that are DJ related, hit me up on Instagram at Zurra Music. Or you can suggest some things in the comments as well. It's entirely up to you. But on Instagram, we're building a nice little community. It's called the Zoo Crew. All you have to do is head to my bio, click the link to join my community, the Zoo Crew. And I'll always prioritize the submissions that are put in that group over anywhere else. So if you've got something you want me to react to, that's the best place to do it. Thank you very much for tuning into this video. I will see you guys in the next one.